Greetings and welcome back to Beaver Branch Disc Golf Adventures. My name is Brian Morris, PDGA 16791. I am a member of the Trilogy Talk team as well as Team Trilogy. Today I have a review for you. It's a mid-range review. We're going to be looking at the EMac Truth in the Fuzion X plastic. The Fuzion X plastic is a very stiff plastic. This has a very big pop top to it, and we're going to compare them to the standard Lucid version, which is a pretty common version for people to throw. The EMac Truth comes in at a speed 5, glide 5, turn of 0, and a fade of 2. I call the EMac Truth a very dependable, straight, stable flyer. The prediction here is that the Fuzion X is probably going to be a little bit on the overstable side, but we won't know until we check it out. So let's get to it. All right, taking a look at the Lucid versus the Fuzion X. Side by side here, and you can see the Fuzion X definitely has this dome to it, a very slight dome in the middle. Has a small bead to it for stability, and pretty standard mid-range look. Very similar feel to the Lucid, with the exception of the plastic is different, and you got a stiff pop top to it. So let's check it out. Alrighty, and here we go. We're going to throw the Lucid EMac Truth first every time, and this is kind of the warm-up shots here, trying to throw it straight. There's a kind of a slight headwind, sort of left to right going on this hole. And just trying to kind of do a flat release, actually trying to throw it to that pin, which is probably about 270 feet away. And here is our first throw with the Fuzion X EMac Truth. Now, I don't know if it was the headwind that straightened that one so much, but it definitely showed you that fade at the end. And here is our second throw, and that one hooked up a little bit sooner and faded out a little bit sooner. Here we are on a 256-foot hole. The first Lucid one there got out of my hands a little bit early, and I make an adjustment here. The Lucid is such a nice disc. It straightens, it's very dependable, has that fade at the end. Fuzion X coming up here, and you can see, trying to follow that same exact release, you can see that it hooked up and faded much earlier and is off to the left, but in the circle nonetheless. But it definitely spikes itself up off that same release that I did with the Lucid. Here you see the spread, or you just saw the spread. Now here we're going to go with a flat release, trying to stretch the shot out a little bit, and we are throwing with a bit of a tailwind, and you can see how the Lucid will straighten out and has that 5 glide, very dependable. And this is the Fuzion X coming up, and it did straighten for a bit, but you definitely see a more pronounced fade to that Fuzion X, which is going to be good if you're dealing with more of a headwind perhaps coming at you. It's definitely a couple notches more stable than the Lucid. That being said, it also got to the ground a little bit quicker than the Lucid. I would probably say that these two discs were flying with a glide of 4, where the Lucid one was more in the
5 realm on that glide. Here we're showing you that we're throwing directly into a very slight headwind, and we're throwing at a basket that's probably about 220 feet away, and we want to see if we can dependably throw it into the wind and just let it get to that basket. Kind of looking for the accuracy here with the disc, and you can see it here that Lucid, very dependable, straight. And now we're going to look at the Fuzion X off that same release. You can see it started fading a little bit earlier and definitely got to the ground. Not saying that that is a bad thing. Could definitely make an adjustment on the throw, and you can see that one got a little bit skippy on me. But up in the circle nonetheless, it was definitely getting further than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be crazy stable like a verdict, but that wasn't the case. It definitely still had the EMac Truth flight to it. Here we're going to look at some Anhyzer shots, and you can see we got this over. We have like a left to right and a very slight headwind going on. So I thought it would be ideal to get into an Anhyzer shot on this angle, and you can see I got that one completely over, the first one not so much. Now looking at the Fuzion X's, and that one I couldn't seem to find it when I tried to zoom it in when I was cutting this. The second one you can see it, but it definitely faded out. I could not get it over. I would have to commit a little bit more to it. You can see this one definitely faded out pretty hard. Couldn't get it over as easy as the Lucid. And here you see the spread. Both Lucid got inside the circle pretty close, and the other two faded out to the left pretty hard. All right, here we're going to try to throw it. I'm trying to get 330 feet, which is how far this shorter basket is. It's around the edge of the woods here. And just trying to see with an ideal wind if I can get it out there and get it that far. Putting a good hyzer snap on it. And you can see the Lucid got out there and it's cleared the corner of the woods. And now we're going to go Fuzion X off the same release. Fuzion X wants to fade hard with that tailwind and got into the corner there, into a little bit of a mess. And try to make a little bit of an adjustment here with the second one, but it still wanted to get to the ground with that tailwind and also wanted to fade out pretty hard. Definitely showing you that stability. Here you see a spread, and here come my final thoughts.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. The Lucid versus the Fuzion X here. The Fuzion X definitely has a much bigger dome in the middle. It is a very stiff plastic in comparison to the Fuzion, very hard, and definitely a lot more stable. Where I could straighten the Lucid EMac Truth, snap it straight a lot easier. This felt like it had a little bit less glide and definitely a lot more stability. It wanted to get down to the ground before the Lucid version on the same release. If you need something that is a little bit more stable than the Lucid, I would suggest the Fuzion X EMac Truth. We hope you like this review. Subscribe, share it to someone, and we will see you on the next one.